Let's bring in Jinsong, who's the head of China Property Research at Credit Suisse. He joins us to give us his views on what he's describing as an over-optimistic property market. Well, Jinsong, the government and the authorities have been trying to clamp down on property prices, and we're expecting property prices to be released for the month later on this morning. What are you expecting in those numbers?
Yeah, we think the June numbers will continue to show property prices going up. We probably see that there will be more cities have a flat or downward trend for month-over-month numbers, but on average, we think the June numbers will still be up, and that's why I think the government is announcing that they are tightening the measures further on the sector.
Okay, when are we actually going to see prices down? Because that's what the government wants to see, right, before they'll stop, I guess, implementing these tightening measures.
Yeah, our Credit Suisse proprietary data shows that the inventory levels at many cities are, surging. Mm-hmm. So we do think that in the second half, probably at the end of third quarter or early fourth quarter, the inventory level will be so high and the developers' financials are further stretched, so they will have to cut prices.
Okay, so they will have to cap prices. But I guess there has been sell-off pressure, of course, in the property sector itself. Are you expecting a rebound of sorts at all?
If you're talking about the property prices, actually recently there are a rally, obviously short-term rallies, but many of the stocks have reached one-year high or even a historical high in terms of share prices. So we do think this is a peak for the sector, and it will go south in terms of the direction of the share prices.
Okay, and which name might be under the most sell-off pressure?
Yeah, like for example, China Overseas Land, that's the 688 HK. They are trading around a one-year high right now. We think that investors may be taking profits at this level, and quite a few other names that are having high net gearings like Guangzhou RNF, Shimao, people may taking profits there as well. Okay,
so we just talked about this Fitch report. Let's try to extrapolate and apply it to the property sector itself. Have you found any of these Chinese companies that you've had, I guess, a hard time trying to access information, management? Any questions to you about credibility at all?
Yeah, the developers' disclosure are quite interesting in China. They are very transparent in terms of monthly sales. They do that every single month. But on the other hand, on the balance sheet and the cash flow level, they only report that twice a year. And it's actually a lump sum. Sometimes it's difficult to analyze the details, and sometimes it's difficult even to match the kind of sales they announced with the actual cash on the balance sheet. So I don't think it's a widespread issue at the moment yet, but we do see some potential concerns for the sector.
Are you ready to name names? Are there any companies that you have certain questions about?
Well, they are reporting the first half results soon, so we'll see then.
Okay. Well, you talked about underperformers. I expect more selling pressure. What about outperformers? You talked about some rallies for some company names.
Right.
What about performance, say, in the next 3 months or so? Who's expected to do better?
Yeah, we still continue to believe that those are sticking to the mass market products, which are not, subject to the speculations that much. Those guys will probably do better. Like, for example, Evergrande, which is 3333 HK, as well as China Vanke.
Okay. Now, before I let you go, Jinsong, let's also reiterate what you told me, I think, the last time we spoke, which is you're not expecting what Jim Chanos is expecting, which is a crash in the property sector. Is that right? There's a lot of concerns still.
Yeah, China is still kind of largely a policy-driven market. So I think the government, at least at the moment, probably still confident that they can maneuver the whole thing.
Right.
So I do see the market continue to weaken, but for now we are not pricing in any hard landing. Certainly the market is not pricing in that. The market is actually before the announcement still expecting a loosening of policies, which obviously have disappointed them.
Okay. Jinsong, thanks for dropping by today. Good to see you. Jinsong of Credit Suisse joining us.